Hello, this is Payal Agarwal from Kolkata, India. Namaste. Hello, good afternoon. Namaste. This is Payal Agarwal from Kolkata. Welcome back. So today is Sunday, the fun day, and we are going to make something very interesting and fun. It's frittata. And as we go along, I'm making it with eggs today. So as we go along, I'll tell you how to make the vegetarian version. Very easy, yummy, tasty, packed full of nutrients, and it's it's a tasty dish. Anybody who eats eggs will enjoy it. The vegetarian version is equally delicious. So let's begin. 2-3 things that we'll do before we start cooking. So I'll show you. First of all, the veggies that we've taken today, spring onions, and today I'm not wearing my apron. You know what happened? I washed it and it's drenched wet. I don't know what happened. It just did not dry, and unfortunately wearing a white. So just my luck. What to do? Okay, so spring onions, chopped, cleaned and chopped. Okay, and coriander leaves, again washed, cleaned, chopped. Spinach, washed and chopped again. Sorry, give me a minute. Okay, so is that okay now? These things, I don't know why these things keep happening with me. Sorry guys. That was the stand just kind of fell. Okay, so spinach washed and chopped. Now yesterday we made the pho. So I had a lot of pepper. So I've taken pepper. If you have it, take it. If you don't, you needn't. It's not mandatory. So I've taken red bell peppers and yellow, and I've just chopped it up into small pieces. 1 tomato. You needn't de-seed it. You needn't take the skin off. Just chop it as fine as you can. And 1 small red onion, again chopped. Okay. So these are the veggies we are going to use today. And of course you can go ahead, put broccoli, put mushrooms, and non-vegetarians can put any kind of meat, shredded chicken. You can put ham, bacon, whatever you like to eat. So you can do that. And for vegetarians, we make this with besan, which is a gram flour. So we use, how gram flour is made. It's made of Bengal gram, which I will show you. But first things first, we'll do the preparation for the frittata. Now, frittata is actually an Italian dish. Frittata loosely means to fry. So, it's basically that. It's also called Spanish omelette. So, what I have done here is, I have taken 2 small size potatoes, not very small, it was just this big. And I have grated it. Okay. And I have dipped it in water and kept it. Now what we are going to do is, we are going to pass it through this sieve, so that all the water, we don't need the water. So what we are going to do is, just pass it through the sieve, and so first we need to do this. So while that is happening, we'll do the rest of the things, okay? So you put it in the sieve so that all the water drains out. And as I have told you, potatoes always, if you're grating, cutting, and you're, prepping it for later use, always dip it in water and keep. Because it's full of iron. So what happens is, it tends to turn black. Okay, so all the potatoes in. Now what we do is, just give that a nice squeeze so that all the water is, see, so much water. So all the water is drained out. Squeeze. Use your muscles. Today we are going to do a lot of cardio in the kitchen. Okay. So, squeeze away. All the water should be as much of the water that you can get out. So this we'll discard. We don't need the water. And what we do is, now we put the potatoes in the bowl, and so that is done. Now what we do is that we sprinkle this with a little bit of flour or cornstarch, whatever it is that you have, use. I'm using flour, just normal white flour. You can use cornstarch also. So we put a tiny bit into the potatoes, okay, and we give it a mix. Okay, now this is being done so that any moisture that is still left in the potatoes will be absorbed by the flour, and it will give it a crisp bottom. The frittata needs to have a crisp potato bottom. So this will help in that. Now we season it, little bit of salt. Hello, my masala box out. Little bit of salt in, just a tiny bit, because we are going to put salt in the eggs also. Okay. And eggs are as it is salty, so be careful whenever you're putting salt in eggs. Be very careful. So now this is done. So this step is the same for vegetarian as well as the non-vegetarian version. So the potato, the layer of potato will be the same, even for the one which we are making with besan, and even for the one we are making with egg. So gas on, fire, pan on, and now the pan should be like piping hot, okay, because whenever you are using potatoes, remember it has a tendency to stick to the pan. So piping hot pan. Now once that is heating up nice and hot, you can use, now again you can use olive oil, you can use regular oil, you can use, I'm using a mix of clarified butter and olive oil. So 2 tiny spoons of clarified butter, ghee, which we were talking about. As I told you, try and incorporate it in your meals at least once a day, if not 2. Okay, so, and a bit of olive oil. So that's my olive oil, just a tad bit in. Okay, so a teaspoon of olive oil I've put, and 1.5 teaspoons of clarified butter. So you give that a nice swirl so that all the sides and everything is coated, nice and greased. Yeah, and see, now it's starting to smoke up. So it's nice and hot. Now turn the gas to a low, and now start putting the potatoes in. Be very careful, they might spit. They will spit. So be very careful. Now the trick to this is, use your hands like so, pick up the potatoes, give it a nice mix, thorough mix. And now the trick to this is that leave a few gaps, okay, when you're putting the, see, sizzling. So leave a few gaps so that when you're dropping the egg in, the egg also touches the pan in some places, so that it has that direct heat of the pan touching the eggs. Otherwise, it takes a little longer to cook also, and it might stay raw also. So once, see, I'll just show you once I'm done with this. Few gaps I've left here and there. Okay, so this is, see, it's done. Now can you see a few gaps? So there are, see, it's already sitting down. So you just, there are a few gaps here and there. Okay, this is how we want it, so that the pan, eggs also have direct contact with the pan. So now you just push it down lightly, okay, and turn the heat up to a medium high. Let the crust form little bit, and then we'll cover it and we'll keep it aside, and I'll show you what next has to be done. So once this is happening, we'll oh, eggs, 1 minute. Ta-da! 3 eggs. I've taken white eggs. You can take brown eggs, you can take duck eggs, you can take, these are normal white eggs, hen eggs. Okay, so this portion should normally serve around 2 people, But if the person is very fond of eggs, and if a person is having it for dinner, and this is the only thing that they are having for dinner, like my husband is going to do, so it will serve one person. So I've taken around 2 medium sized potatoes and 3 eggs. Okay. So now see, can you see it's jiggly? It's not stuck to the bottom. It's moving around freely, the potatoes. So that means it's going to now it's formed the crust and it's left the sides of the pan. So now nothing will happen to it. Now you turn the gas to a low. I will just shift it to the other side of my cooking range so that I can show, and we'll just cover this with a lid and we'll let it be. Let it cook so that the potatoes cook also and the crust is nice and crisp and brown. Okay. So while that is happening now, today with the frittatas we are going to, let me talk about the vegetarian version first. So we make that with besan. Besan is basically gram flour powder. So this is what gram flour looks like. I'll just show you. This is Bengal gram, it's called. This is Bengal gram. Okay. Yellow lentils. There are a few yellow lentils that we use in India. This is Bengal gram. Chana dal, it's called. Chana dal. So there are, so this is made, ground up and made into a powder. And 2 types of powders are made out of this. One is sattu, which is not very fine, and one is besan, which is a very fine powder of the gram flour, of the gram lentil. So this is the gram flour besan which we use. So what we do is, the general rule is 1 spoon of besan to around 3 spoons, same spoons, 3 spoons of water. So if you're taking say 50 grams of besan multiplied by 3, so 150 ml of approximately water. So it becomes like a pancake batter or a dosa batter. Okay. So that consistency, pouring consistency we need, not watery but pouring. So it, basically the same consistency when you whip eggs, what we are going to do now. So the same, approximately the same consistency we need for the besan. So similarly, like we are going to add all the veggies to the eggs, we add all the veggies to the besan and we season it with salt and with green chilies or red chili powder, whatever you want. And we pour it in a similar fashion like we are going to pour the eggs. So as we go along, I'll tell you. So that is that. Sattu again, this is a very, it's similar, the properties are almost similar to eggs. Eggs is very high in protein, calcium, B12, you get all your, a lot of good fats from eggs, and similarly from your gram flour. So you have a lot of protein, you have a lot of, good fats, and it's very, very cooling. So what in India, in West Bengal, states of Bihar, Orissa, what they do is the not refined, the first, which is not very refined, the flour which is not very fine, is called sattu. So we take like a teaspoon of sattu in a glass, top it up with cold water, put salt, lemon juice, little bit of jaggery, give it a nice mix, and we drink it. It's very, very nourishing. It will help you, kickstart your day with a lot of energy, and it's the same, and it's packed full of protein. So vegetarians, people who are not eating eggs, please try and incorporate sattu in your diet. So that being said, now today's drink is the Dalgona coffee, which is becoming a rage suddenly. We've been, so what I have done is, I have taken 2 teaspoons of coffee powder. I have taken instant coffee powder, and I have put around 4 teaspoons of sugar and 2 teaspoons of hot water. So you put all that. Now people, what happens is, people confuse time consuming with difficult. Now Dalgona is not difficult to make. It's just time consuming. It is time consuming. But if I am doing with a hand whisk, I'm doing it with a hand whisk, as you can see. As I told you, my cardio for the day. But But if you don't want to do it with a hand whisk, go ahead and take a hand blender if you have those small blenders, or you whack it in the, if you have a small jar in your processor, food processor, put it in that and you can just churn it. What we do is we start now mixing. This should form very nice, soft, stiff peaks. Okay, so you give it a good, and it will take time. It's not like it's going to be instant. It will take time, but it's not difficult. Time consuming and difficult are two different things completely. So let's not make it a thing like Dalgona and how it's supposed to make. As I told you, if you don't want to go through this trouble, just whack it in the processor, or just kind of start. Just whack it in the processor, just use a hand mixer. But people who don't have these gadgets, just use a whisk. Those flat whisks that you get, that won't do the trick, because you need to incorporate a lot of air in the mixture. Okay, so you need a whisk like this. See, it's already amalgamating and becoming a little thicker. Can you see? So now we keep on. Okay, we'll just check the potatoes 1 minute, then we'll get back to this. So I'll show you the potatoes. See, now what is beginning to happen is, I'll just show you. See, the crust is starting to form. Can you see how nice and brown? Now you just give it a flip. Easy. We just flipped it. Can you see how brown and crisp? Can you hear the sizzling sound and the crispness of the potato? Beautiful. Again, cover it. Let it cook away. Potatoes need to cook. And the other side also needs to become a little brown. Now back to the Dalgona. Keep whisking. Be a little patient. As I had told you earlier, patience is a virtue. And this needs patience. So let's use it today. Let's see how many people are patient. Okay. So let's go for it. Go for it. Okay. It's not difficult as I told you, but yes, it is time consuming. And this you can make with either hot water, milk, or with cold milk also. Tastes very good. It's becoming a rage, and people are, my brother-in-law, my younger sister's husband, and whenever he comes to my house for the past 20 years of my marriage, he just wants this coffee. The only thing he'll tell me is, just make that coffee of yours. And that time we hadn't given it a name, it was just normal whisked coffee. Now people are calling it Dalgona. So thank you world for giving this coffee a name. And it is yummy, it is really yummy. The bitter sweet taste of the coffee on top of piping hot or chilled milk, it's amazing. Coffee lovers would know. The whiff of the coffee brewing away or heating up in the morning is a intoxicating smell. Wakes you up immediately. Yeah. So whisk. Okay, give it all you have. See, it's starting to thicken up even further. Now this you can make again if you are very fond of this coffee, make it in a biggish batch, and you can store it in the fridge for a day or two. After 2 days it might become a little runny, but 2 days easily. Okay, and keep pouring your hot or cold milk and keep enjoying. So you needn't sweat it out every day then. Okay, so that's my cardio. Go, go, go. Girl power, let's do it. Am I building my muscles? No, it seems to be only fat. Okay, so that is that. It will take a little time. Okay. Incorporating a lot of air basically, and the trick is to use hot water to mix it all up so that the sugar and the coffee and everything kind of dissolves and becomes into this one lovely okay. See, have you seen how nice it's become? Creamy. Okay, little bit more to go, little bit. But now what we do is first, we take a look at the eggs. I mean the potatoes. See, potatoes cooked, all crisp up and done. So now what we do is we let that be, and I'll tell you how to prepare the eggs first, and then we'll get back to the coffee and whisk away. Okay, for the eggs now, take a mixing bowl like so. And in my house, because I am vegetarian and I don't even eat eggs. I mean I do eat it, but I try not to because I'm just shifting. Meats and fish I've left long time back. Eggs also it's very seldom now. So what I have done is I keep a separate pan, a separate mixing bowl and a separate fork for the eggs, which is very commonly done. I think in India people tend to do that. Okay, so now 3 eggs in. Now we put in the veggies, little bit of the spring onions. You just keep back little bit for garnishing later. Pepper, red and yellow, few. Now use as much and as less as you want of all the veggies. Tomatoes, little bit. Chopped onions go in. Okay, and little bit of spinach leaves, iron, and little bit of the coriander leaves. Now you keep back a little bit of the coriander leaves also for the garnishing. And now you season this. So I am going to use little bit of salt. Now while we are doing this, I've turned the gas off for the potatoes because the potatoes were almost done. We don't want them burning and becoming black. So according to taste, salt I have put around half a teaspoon because eggs are already a little salty, remember. And red chili powder, red chili flakes, green chilies chopped up, or green chilies made into a paste. You can use whatever. Now again, so today is the day when we do a lot of cardio, okay, and so this again needs a good a good whisk whisk away, and again incorporating a lot of air. Okay, and for the frittata what we have to do is we have to put in a little bit of milk into the eggs. So just this dinner spoon of mine, so half a dinner spoon to begin with, okay. This can be room temperature milk. It should not be piping hot. It can be room temperature or cold, or it can be little warm but not hot because it will start cooking the eggs in the mixing bowl and we don't want that. Okay, so now whisk away. See, incorporating a lot of air into the eggs. So the trick is to take your fork, put it flat into the bowl and pick it up like that. Go again, pick it up. Right. So the more you keep picking it up, the more air keeps getting incorporated. Okay, so it becomes nice and fluffy. So that is, so you see that little bit froth, it becomes airy like that, little bit froth keeps forming. So that's nice and aerated, air incorporated. Now back, we'll take the pan. It should be on a low. The heat should be on a low as of now. Okay. Potatoes are nicely done. Very nice. How nice it's looking. Okay. And almost cooked. So now we take the eggs and I think it will need a little bit more of oil because what happens is potatoes tend to soak up a little oil. Okay. So we just around the corner a tad bit so that the eggs don't stick to the bottom. Because you need it like, it will come out like a pancake. It will come out beautifully. I'll show you when we are doing it. So whisk. Once the pan is a little, you wait for the pan to heat up again a little bit because we had switched it off. So little bit it should be, it should not be cold when you put the eggs in. Definitely then it will stick to the pan. That is another trick. Remember, always the pan should be hot when you are putting your eggs or your besan mixture also, for that matter. When you're putting it in at this point, see, this is the same way you make the besan mixture also, the vegetarian version. This consistency. Okay, this consistency, pouring like this. So this is the consistency we need for the besan also. Same veggies go in. And for besan, remember, because eggs kind of rise up on its own. It fluffs up on its own in the pan. But for besan, what you'll have to do is you'll have to put a pinch of baking powder in the besan, so that it helps to aerate it a little bit and fluff up. Okay. So now we put the eggs in. See, it's starting to sizzle again. Can you hear? So that means the pan is hot. So now we put the eggs in. Okay, last bit in, and now just make sure that it's evenly distributed, all the veggies. So once that is done, you can kind of now start. Okay, now at this point the gas is on a low. You can just put it up a tad bit to a medium high, and see, it will start cooking immediately from on the sides. Can you see? It's starting to cook. See, it's separating. So now what you do is you just give it a bit of a help so that it touches the pan, parts of it, so that it gets direct heat. So then the entire thing will start cooking nicely. Today I'm not quite there. I think how many things I've forgotten. Now we need cheese for this. You can use any cheese. I'm using processed. Go ahead and use mozzarella. You can use parmesan. You can use cheddar. Whatever you have, use it. So a little bit of cheese we'll put on top. Just a minute. I'll just get it for you. So I am just using a normal cheese slice, processed cheese slice today. You can use any sort of cheese that you want. So the cheese slice at this point, because we wanted to incorporate in the eggs, see, it's got milk already, so it will become like a creamy souffle. It will be so creamy inside. So we just put a little bit of the cheese as of now, and we just tear it into bits and put the cheese and just mix it up with the egg. Okay, rest we'll put a little later. You mix it up with the eggs so that it melts into the frittata, and make sure that the cheese that you have put now is covered with a little bit of the egg mixture. And you can do the same thing with your besan also. Just put a little bit of cheese, mix it, make sure there's a smooth layer of the batter on top. Okay, and now we cover it again and let it sit. The heat is on a low, absolutely on a low. I put it on the back burner as of now because I want to show you the dalgona. So back again, whisk. Whenever you have this time, now whisk away. Okay, as it is, it's so hot and humid in Calcutta, and now with all the cardio today, you know, I am so melting, it seems. I don't know, it's very hot. It needs to rain immediately, I say. And that's the beauty of Calcutta though. What happens is it becomes very, very hot and humid for 2 days, and the third day it rains. Then again, you're breathless and you're sweating away for 2-3 days, again the fourth day it will rain. So that way we get a lot of relief also, because we are next to the Ganges, one of the main rivers of India. Because of no traffic now, and you know, for the past 1.5 months, and a lot of because you know, and less people visiting the Ganges as of now to do their holy bathing and all that. The Ganges, and nobody putting in any kind of rubbish into the river. It's cleaned up, I believe. and it's become beautiful, the water, nice and pristine. See how we take nature for granted, and we don't understand that the earth can live without us. It doesn't really need us. We need the earth, so we must look after it. Okay, I'm getting breathless. Oh, okay, back to it. So now, because I'm using a hand whisk, I'm getting a little tired. But if you're not using a hand whisk, if you're just using your this thing, done. See, while we are talking, done. Have you seen how nice and frothy it's become? Smooth, silky smooth. Done. So your Dalgona mix is done. Now this, as I told you, you can keep in your last bag, I think, so that when I'm talking to you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is done. Our mix is done. Make a big batch. You can keep it for a day or two. So you don't have to do it every day. So back to the eggs now. Let me show you what's happening to that. Now I'm doing back and forth today. Sorry, because I wanted to show you how to whisk for the Dalgona. See how it's fluffing up already. Can you see? Nice and fluffy. It's still, as you see, a little jiggly in the middle. So it needs to. Now at this point we put the rest of the cheese slice in. And this cheese slice now you don't mix. You let it be on top, so it all becomes nice and gooey and it melts. And you get that cheesy. Yeah. So done. Distribute the cheese evenly. Same thing with the besan. Remember guys, whatever I'm showing you with the eggs, exactly the same thing you follow with the besan. So as I told you, 1 spoon of besan to 3 spoons of water and a pinch of baking soda, baking powder. This baking powder we use extensively in India. So 1 pinch of that, seasoning, salt, red chili powder or green chilies chopped or green chili paste, and all the veggies. So onion, tomatoes, spinach, pepper, coriander and green spring onions. Okay, and of course you can keep experimenting and you can keep using whichever. You can use broccoli, as I told you. You can use mushrooms. So go ahead, and for meats you can use bacon, you can use ham, you can use chicken, you can use whatever you please. So go ahead, experiment. This is an experimental dish. You can whack in whatever you like into it, and egg and besan both can withstand that and make it okay. So you have to keep checking in between. So just lift up let's take a peek. It's still a little jiggly. See, it's still jiggling a little bit in the middle. So at this point what we are going to do is we are going to just take my flat spatula and we are going to just make a little incision in the middle. Okay, so that the heat kind of comes up. Just a little, just you make a like that. Touch the bottom of the pan and back again. Touch the bottom of the pan and back again. So that it just, the heat kind of gets space to come up to the top. Cover it again. It will take 1 minute. Now, while that is happening, I'll show you the coffee. So the mix was done. Okay, now there are 2 ways. You can put the mix at the bottom of the cup and then put your milk, or you can put the milk and then put your coffee on top. Normally you put the milk first and then you put the coffee on top. So that's what I'm going to do today. So while this is cooking, again I'll put it at the back of the burner so that we can get a clear picture of the coffee and what's happening to it. Okay, sorry, today it's just going back and forth. Okay. So cup, right, milk, as I told you, you can use cold or hot. So today, because it is a hot day, I'm using cold milk around. Okay, so cold milk goes in, and take a larger cup if you want to, take a smaller one if you want to. That is completely up to you. Okay, now the dalgona mix. So now we take that and very carefully, very gently with a spoon, you pick that up and you pour it on top. Ooh, so pretty. Okay, see. One more spoon. Now again you put the mix according to how strong or light you like your coffee. But normally this should be a little strong, I feel, because it's that bittersweet taste which dalgona is known for. But of course, if you don't like it very strong, go ahead and put a little less. Okay. Now it's been 2-3 minutes while the egg was on a low flame. We'll turn that off and just wait for another 2 minutes as all one pot recipes, and then we'll open it up. Okay. So this is done. Now, as I told you, I'm normally not very chefy, but today, being a Sunday, I'm feeling extravagant. So I have a little bit of, cocoa powder with me, which I'm going to, which I'm going to just put on top little bit. Okay. And just decorate that for a bit. Ooh, not really chefy, but that's your dalgona. And you do serve it with a spoon or a stirrer, because that goes in, because it will need to be stirred as you drink it. Isn't it beautiful? It does take time, but it's not difficult. It's not difficult. Please, let's not confuse time consuming with difficult. That's done. Dalgona done. Eggs. Okay, time to open the lid. Ta-da! Done. See how pretty. I'll show you. I'll plate it up and show you. Comes out beautifully like that. Okay, that's my plate. And that's, I'll put it here and I'll just take that out for you. So now, see, it's already moving around. So that means it's cooked perfectly. Can you see it's moving around? So that is the trick. Be patient. Be patient. See. Can you see? Can you see the bottom? See how crisp and brown. How beautiful. And that's, now little spring onions on top. Oh, how happy it is making me to see this. How beautiful. Little coriander leaves on top. Cheese is all melted and gooey. Ta-da! Dinner is served. Enjoy your Sunday, guys. And I'll see you tomorrow. Like, share. Please like the FOMO No More page. Share my recipes on your wall, please. If you liked it, send me your questions. I love to answer them. And I'll see you tomorrow. Namaste.